brothers and sisters, friends and enemies. I just can't believe everyone in here is a friend, and I don't want to leave anybody out. The question tonight, as I understand it, is where do we go from here, or what next? In my little humble way of understanding it, it points toward either the ballot or the bullet.
Of Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, would be stealing Grimace's look, but you would be wrong. It happens to be stealing mortgages and defrauding banks and lying on official government records. Trump administration refers a New York Attorney General Letitia James for possible prosecution over allegations of mortgage fraud. James is accused of listing her home in Virginia as her primary residence while serving as an elected official in New York, and listing her father as her husband, a little bit of an Ilhan Omar move there. These are, of course, illegal operations on a mortgage fraudulence. This is a way to rip off the government and the banks. There are reams of prosecutions for doing this at scale when it comes to prosecutions inside of the Department of Justice, and that's where this lands right now. Don't disappoint us, Department of Justice. Let's freaking go. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been hit with shocking allegations by the Trump administration accusing her of mortgage fraud. In documents obtained by Fox News Channel, the Ingram Angle Federal Housing Finance Agency sent a criminal referral to the Department of Justice accusing James of mortgage fraud on Tuesday. The director, William Plute, said that in his letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi that James appears to have falsified records to meet certain lending requirements to receive favorable loan terms. Plute is cited a property in Virginia that James allegedly claimed to be her principal residence, and a property in New York she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of a 5-unit structure, which she said could mean that she could get the difference on a favorable loan. She also listed her father as her husband. Okay. Fox News contributor, George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley told Fox News' Laura Ingraham, the irony of falsifying these records is perfectly crushing. A person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a mattress label off, she prosecuted Trump for, let's remind, falsifying records. That's why she prosecuted Trump, falsifying records to get more favorable loans and to get more favorable taxes from the federal government. This is what Letitia James, lying about assets, is what Letitia James prosecuted Trump for. Correct? I mean, like they were able to get convictions against Trump for this. Oh my. And among the charges run in New York, just were civil and a criminal case, making false and misleading statements on financial institutions, Turley said. As for James, if we apply the Letitia James standards she created, there'd be little question here. It seems pretty straightforward. He claimed that the Trump administration is saying that this was not her principal residence because she was elected in New York. James is also accused of saying knowing false statements under section like 1014, just not misleading statements, Turley said. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not. Either you're married to your father or you're not. The DOJ, and James did not respond for comment. Why hasn't the DOJ responded for comment? There should be an immediate press conference about this. This is exactly what they would have done in the Biden administration. They would have sent the charges in, and then there would have been like a full phalanx, Merrick Garland, the FBI, they would have all been out. So this is Laura Ingraham breaking the news here. Bombshell. Documents contain serious claims of mortgage fraud and include several pages of documented evidence. My goodness. The criminal referral sent to the DOJ. Make sure that Pam Bondi investigates this to the fullest extent. These are the documents that were sent. So you can see here. New York Attorney General Letitia James being prosecuted for lying about her assets to get a mortgage after prosecuting Trump for lying about his assets to get a bank loan would be too perfect. They always accuse you of what they actually did. These are the documents themselves. Here are the actual criminal referrals. And you're welcome to go read them over on our X page. They've also been posted by the Trump War Room. Mortgage fraud. Letitia James going to jail for the same crime that she accused Trump of going of. No matter how big, how rich, or powerful you think you are, no one is above the law. Those are the words of Letitia James. They may echo loudly as James finds herself a subject of criminal referral for alleged financial fraud. Federal agencies refer New York Attorney General Letitia James, and this is the New York Post cover. A Tish best served cold. Trump administration refers James for mortgage fraud prosecution. Ooh, baby. This is all of the rage right now. And I got to tell you, it really is a dish best served cold. There are so many different tweets. Rose are red, violets are blue. No one is above the law, even when you think the rules don't apply to you. It's amazing. The people who like flex like this are always the ones who go down. No one is above the law. Letitia James, says Byron Donalds. That's right. This is karma. She needs to be prosecuted right now and brought to justice. Letitia James getting taken down with mortgage fraud, of all things, is so sweet it could induce diabetes, says James Wood. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the breaking news on Laura Ingram's show. Here we go.
It's important that attorneys general representing our respective states stand up and enforce the rule of law. The president of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the
And now the Trump Justice Department may be a pain in her you-know-what. The Angle has obtained shocking allegations leveled by the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type and more favorable loan. Joining me now is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and law professor at GW University. Jonathan, mortgage fraud is rampant in the United States. There's all sorts of fraud that's rampant. There's disability fraud that they've vowed to crack down on in the Trump administration. But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money. Your reaction to these allegations?
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York in not just the civil but the criminal case was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions. And one of these sections, Section 1014 of the federal code, is prosecuted. It took me about 60 seconds of a search to find cases that the Department of Justice brought against people who falsely claimed that property was their principal residence in order to get loans. So this is well-tread areas for the Justice Department. As for James, if we apply the Letitia James standard that she created, there'd be little question here. This seems pretty straightforward. What the administration is saying is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple. So there's a lot of those questions. And as you know, the Supreme Court just stated earlier in March in a case called Thompson that they want to see knowing false statements under sections like 1014, not just misleading statements. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not.
Or it's not.
Either you're married to your father or he's your father. So they can get this can satisfy the Thompson standard.
Yep.